Hi everybody, welcome to the Dive Brief. With the release of the new Fourth Element Tech fins, that kind of completes their 2022 mask, snorkel and fin lineup. So I figured that I'd break down their current lineup because there are some cool bits that arrived this year that maybe kind of snuck in under the radar, and there are actually still a few things yet to come that I'll discuss what I can. First of all, the masks, fins and snorkels, these are all completely new to the Fourth Element range. Usually they tend to stick to wetsuits, dry suit undersuits and bags, that kind of exposure protection, along with accessories like gloves and hoods and things. But this year for 2022, Fourth Element released the Scout, the Navigator and the Aquanaut masks. The Scout is the flagship mask that comes in black or white with 4 different lens options for different diving conditions. This and the fact that the Scout comes with a bungee strap as standard means that the Scout stands above the rest of the masks as the real flagship. The Navigator is a classic scuba diving mask with a great field of view and the choice of 2 separate lens options, and like the Aquanaut, comes with just a traditional silicone strap, but you can upgrade to that bungee strap if you wanted to. The Aquanaut is a low volume mask intended more for free diving, and all of those masks come in a new half shell mask case that can fit inside of a foot pocket, and that's very modern. The snorkels are very traditional. The dry top snorkel, the wave deflector top snorkel, the splash, and the classic J snorkel, which is called the float, which floats, which is actually a lovely feature if you ever drop it in the water. The fins complete the new range with the Rec and the Tech fins. Both are relatively familiar designs, which is hardly a bad thing. The Rec is being a channel style fin that is made with a fully recycled blade, a kind of dual meaning for Rec in the name, which is more for the eco-conscious diver. And this week we saw the release of the Tech fins, which are a vented fin made to be slightly negatively buoyant, so they sink a little bit in the water, and relatively stiff blade for the best combination of power and effort in the water. The few items that I feel slipped in under the radar a little bit this year are the Expedition Backpack, huge 60-litre double dry bag backpack for remote diving and keeping your gear organised and dry. You have the main compartment and then a second separate dry panel on the front, and all the backpack straps and all that kind of good stuff for when you're diving out in like really remote areas, or even just your local dive centre. It's just something to keep all your stuff organised. We then have the Tidal changing robe, which is entering the range to complement the Storm poncho. Both of them are made to keep you warm and protected on the surface. You can't throw it over yourself after you get out of the water to protect yourself from the elements, but the Tidal is a bit thicker. It's got this internal fleece to keep you much warmer, so when the wind's really trying to cut through. And it also has a full front zipper for easier donning and doffing. You don't have to climb into a poncho, you just kind of throw it on and then zip it up if you need to. And the final sneaky one is 2 new colours of the insulated Gulper water bottles to keep your drinks cold or hot, depending on your choice of drinks. Otherwise, the exposure protection ranges stay quite similar to previous years. In dry suits, you have the Argonaut, the Hydra. The Argonaut is a membrane dry suit, Hydra is neoprene, which you can fit the Ellipse dry gloves onto if you want to. For undersuits, which Fourth Element is probably best known for, you have the classic Arctic, the Arctic Expedition, which is a slightly better version, the Zerotherm, which is a slightly thinner version of the Arctic, basically. The X Core, which is a vest version to keep your core nice and warm, and J2 that I'm actually wearing right now, which is a base layer that just adds an extra little layer. And if you've ever been to any of the dive shows recently, or if you've seen Fourth Element's Instagram in the past few weeks, a new undersuit is just on the horizon, the Halo AR, but more about that later. Wetsuits, there's the Proteus 2, the Xenos, the Thermocline, which is a neutrally buoyant neoprene alternative, the Surface, which is a plant-based neoprene, very modern. That's more designed for free diving compared to scuba diving, and we have the RF wetsuit, which stands for recreational free diving. That is very much intended for free diving with smooth skin outer layers for minimal drag. Rash vests, bags, gloves, hoods, boots, everything. Fourth Element has plenty to offer the modern scuba diver and free diver, and their constant drive to produce eco-friendly and eco-responsible dive equipment, especially with their ocean positive equipment, is really something to aspire to. So they're definitely a brand worth keeping an eye on. Links to all of these are going to be down in the description below, but if you have any questions about any of the new gear that you want to ask, by all means let us know down in the comments below, but you'll find plenty of information on our website simplyscuba.com. For the latest news on newer gear arrivals, head over to the Simply Scuba Instagram page, just search for @simplyscuba and you should find us, because that's where I tend to release this is what's just arrived on the website. But as always, thank you for watching everybody, and of course, safe diving.